Hey guys, I'm back with another action figure review, and this time we're going to take a look at the DC Direct Trinity Series 1 Batman. He was released in April of 2008, as I said, part of Series 1, which I actually believe is the only series they made of these figures, so not quite sure why they had a series number at all. But anyway, so this is another figure from my boyfriend's collection, and one of the more interesting figures, I think. Haven't seen many reviews of this guy, so I've been looking forward to this review. He's a pretty cool figure, and if you're familiar with the story of Trinity, or really any of Matt Wagner's Batman stories, then you'll definitely recognize the style he's done in, and it's really cool because he's very accurate to Matt Wagner's art. So yeah, obviously he is based off of the Trinity story, which is as the name would suggest, a story with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and they're facing Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, however you'd like to say it. And yeah, so it was written and drawn, all the art done by Matt Wagner. He, I believe, writes and draws all of his own books. I'm not, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think he often does do that. And he has written a few other Batman books. And yeah, I actually really like his art style, so this figure is really cool. So anyway, I'm going to start off with the accessories. And first I'm just going to show you the figure stand, because it does come with a figure stand. And I'm assuming the other characters in the wave also have it. They are obviously Superman, Wonder Woman, and there's also a Ra's al Ghul. I do believe that's it for the wave, and I like I said, I do believe that's it for the series, actually. So it's just a blue stand. It says Trinity on it. It's quite large, or so I think it is. Against the figure, it goes up to almost his waist. So he seems to be standing okay without it. I mean, he'd definitely stand better with it, but it takes up so much space. Like if you have you know, some generic stands that are smaller, maybe you can use those. But he doesn't seem to really need it. But yeah, before I just get into the figure, I did want to mention I didn't touch on price. I'm not sure how much my boyfriend got this for. He's had it for quite a while, and that's also why I don't have the packaging to show you. But he actually goes for like $9 or $10 loose on eBay, which is pretty cool for a DC Direct figure, and around anywhere from like 20 to 40 in the packaging, it looks like. And you know, if you buy him loose, you're not going to get his accessories, obviously, which I'll show you in a second. And just another note is, when I was looking on eBay for him, I actually, for the loose one, there was this figure, and there also seemed to be a variant, and I don't think it's actually from the Trinity series. I think they may have used this body mold for maybe a different series of figures, but I couldn't seem to find any information about it. But the figure that was on eBay was the same figure, but blue and gray, excuse me, and had a yellow belt instead of gold. So I'm not quite sure if that was a variant to the series or a different series altogether, but looks like an interesting figure too, and that was on there for 10 bucks loose as well. So now I'll show you the accessories. As you can see right off the bat, if you're not familiar with the figure, you're probably like, why is he wearing goggles? So Batman does have goggles in this figure. Look pretty cool. They've got, you know, blue lenses. They're actually kind of metallic blue, and they're just black goggles. So they're a rubber piece, and they do come off. They come off entirely, but they're quite tight. So my boyfriend just pulls them down off of his eyes and lets them sit around his neck, so I'm just going to do that for the review as well. So he just has them like this usually, because he doesn't want to break them pulling them off of the head. I think a little bit of hot water would loosen them up and pull them off, or pop the head off and pull the goggles off, pop the head back on, whatever. But this is how they've been recently. So yeah, they slide off, or they can slide over the top of the head. And then you can see the iconic sort of, I don't know if iconic's the word I'm really looking for, but these signature is the word. Signature Matt Wagner Batman face right there. If you're not familiar with his art, this is very spot on. And the other accessory you can see here is this, and his legs, there you go. So he's got this my boyfriend told me it is basically Batman's fancy version of a Geiger counter. So he uses this to scan for nuclear weapons. And it's really pretty cool. He can hold it, as you can see, he is holding it. It's pretty long, and it has, as you can see, this, well, it has actually two. It has these soft kind of rubber wires that, you know, mimic the wires of the actual tool. And so he has a second one that goes, oh, it popped out, but it comes off of it and it goes around and it can go into the back of the figure, into this hole in the belt. And you just kind of plug it in there. And it can be a little difficult, but I had it in there and it must have popped itself out, but you just plug it in there. And so it stays attached to the figure. And there you have it. I'm actually going to take it off now. Of course, I just plugged it in, but I'm going to take it off to show you the rest of the figure so it's not in the way there. But it's pretty cool. It actually attaches and has all these little details. They could have just given, you know, a plastic rod and none of the wires and stuff. And it's really cool. So I'm just going to take it out and show you that briefly and then move on to the figure. Yeah, see, of course, he's going to... Okay, he's standing. So yeah, so this is up close. It has a... black handle, silver little pieces, and white and black, yellow and black stripe. Looks like a candy cane, only yellow and black. But yeah, and then it has this the little piece that plugs in to the back. It's just a little black plug. So that's that accessory, and now we'll move on to the figure. So yeah, definitely a really cool figure. I'm just going to show you the face sculpt again up close. So yeah, Matt Wagner draws Batman with these really kind of large, almond-shaped eyes, or, you know, eye parts of the mask. I've really never seen any other artist draw Batman this way, so, and he has this angular jaw and, like, kind of medium-sized ears, I guess. Well, or smaller, I guess. But, yeah, just very, very much like Matt Wagner style. So I like that a lot. Actually, early on in the, when my boyfriend and I started dating, like, years ago, before I really got into comics, he gave me, Batman and the Mad Monk, I believe it was called, and, there was another one that was very similar, or they went together, both Matt Wagner stories, and I really liked them. So it's, one of my first, you know, Batman stories actually was a Matt Wagner story, so I guess that makes it a little more special for me. But, yeah, so I really like the face sculpt. But moving along, I think this bat symbol is actually fairly unique to Matt Wagner as well. It's a kind of a different shape than others. But definitely nice, nicely painted. It's a glossy black, which I'm sure you can tell by the reflection of my lights. Whereas like the cape and the cowl are matte, kind of a matte finish. The boots, gloves, and bat symbol are all glossy black, and the underoos are flat. So definitely like this. I like that. I like that it's glossy. It has a nice contrast against the matte gray body, which, if you can see, I didn't say this yet, but the body sculpt is actually pretty slim for a Batman figure, because again, this is like the Matt Wagner style of art for drawing Batman, but it's really nicely done, you know. He doesn't look, you know, too skinny. He just looks, you know, slim and doesn't have all the muscles jutting out of everywhere. You can see he has these big arms, but they're not ripped with muscle at every turn, you know. So I like that. I do like the sculpt of the figure. I think it's unique for Batman. And yeah, so I'll carry on there. You can see the belt is gold on this figure, and very simple. Matt Wagner's Batman belt is very simple. Again, it has the hole in the back to plug in the accessory. But otherwise, no like utility pockets or capsules, just this buckle, and very, you know, very simple otherwise. It actually feels like it is a soft rubber. You can see that it kind of lifts off a little bit, but I think it is glued, you know, glued down or sculpted on or something, but otherwise it is a soft rubber, so that's kind of nice. It has a nice texture. It's smooth, but it feels like rubber, so that's cool. Gloves. Again, glossy black. He has the right hand sculpted open to hold the accessory, and his left hand is in a closed fist. And they have very short little spikes coming off of the gauntlet. Yeah. And there you have that. The boots are also glossy black, and they are the pointed boots in the front. Pretty simple. They have a little bit of tread on the bottom, and one peg hole for the stand that it comes with. You can see DC Comics made in China. And lastly, I believe lastly, the cape sculpt is pretty nice. It actually does go almost all the way to the bottom of his, you know, his feet. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. The bottom of the spikes on the bottom basically hit the ground. Not quite, but almost. And you can see that it's, you know, very universally spiky. It's not like a random assortment. It's very repetitive looking. These are just poor choices of words. But yeah, it has really nice sculpting around the top, around the neck especially, and around the front. It's just a very thin rubber glued down, drapes over his shoulders nicely. And, you know, it's a very nice sculpt. Now this is very similar to the Two-Face Batman I reviewed maybe a week or two ago. Very thin, rubbery cape that's not, you know, in his back, stuck in his back. It's just wrapped around the neck. This is my favorite type of cape. Very thin rubber, very pliable. He could definitely sit down with this. There we go, chilling. But it doesn't look as, I just like this a lot. I've actually seen some custom figures recently that have had cloth capes that I actually like, because they put wires in them so you can pose them, and that's really cool. I have to say, if I ever had a figure with a cloth cape, I definitely want that as part of it. But otherwise, this is my favorite type of cape, this very, very soft, thin rubber. So, yeah. I'll just do articulation for you. The head goes, you know, around. It goes a little bit up and down. So you can kind of, you know, angle his head, different angles. Again, these goggles do come off. My boyfriend just prefers to leave them here so he doesn't break them trying to pull them off. So the shoulders go in and out and around. No bicep swivel, kind of a bummer, even for DC Direct. Elbows, sort of swivel there. No waist joint, which is also disappointing. I know it's to kind of be expected with DC Direct, but with this figure, I mean, obviously he has just this cut at the belt. It'd be so easy to just, you know, slice him open and insert a joint in there, but they do not. He's got the legs that go forward and back, and he can actually do a full split this way, which a lot of times DC Direct figures cannot do, because their back, when you try to move their leg back, they have kind of a butt sculpted, so the leg just hits the butt and they can't get it out. But yeah, this one can do a full split. I mean, if you know, that's actually could be a fun way to get a dynamic pose out of a not so articulate figure. If you have a flight stand or something, and you can have him kind of running, that's pretty cool. Just single knees, and that's it. No ankles or swivels. So yeah, that is the DC Direct Trinity Batman. Really cool figure. Definitely recommend him if you're a fan of either Batman, Matt Wagner, or Trinity. Any of the above, or all of the above. He's got, you know, cool accessories. Great sculpt. Definitely likened to Matt Wagner's artwork, so really, really cool. And that's it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked the review, and I'll see you in future ones. Thanks again, guys. Bye.